with Mr. Tim Berry. He is one of the founders of the Hot Shops. He's a practicing artist down here at the Hot Shops as well. So I will go ahead and I will turn things over to him.
So welcome to the Hot Shops. My name's Tim. As she said, I'm one of the founders. 25 years ago, this was the Certif Mattress Factory. We've had it that long. We've turned it into the Art Center. We have 58 studios, 90 artists in the building. Our waiting list is 100. Our mission statement, everybody's got mission statements. Go out back and find out what your school's is. But our mission statement here at Hot Shops, very simple but very powerful. Hot Shops is a place where ideas, dreams, and what-ifs are explored, created, and shared. Those of you who have been to one of my talks before, you will hear me say, I can give a damn about your grade point average. What I really care about is your ideas and your creativity. I tell a story about Disney. After Disney's up and running, things are going real well. Hanna-Barbera's open, Warner Brothers is open. There's a big business meeting and the lawyers and the accountants are going back and forth and oh my God, the sky is falling. We're losing all our creative talent. They're going to work for these other places. They're setting up their own shops. How are we going to sustain this business? Started to talk about secrecy pacts, no compete clauses in the contract, which meant if you left Disney for any reason, you couldn't work in the field of animation for a period of 2 to 3 years. Disney lets the argument go on for about 20 minutes, doesn't say a word. Finally, he's had enough. He stands up, slams his fist down on the table. Damn it, if they want to go, let them go. I can think them up faster than they can steal them. Disney understood his greatest asset was his ideas, his creativity. But he didn't keep those ideas in his head. You guys have got ideas. I know your brains are just flying. Learn to slow down a little bit. Pick those ideas out of your head. Get them down on a piece of paper. Speak them into a device. Okay? The most important thing about you is your ideas. Now, when you get that great idea, remember the grade point average I don't care about? Boy, if you got a good idea, I hope you got a good grade point average. It's the tools that you need to make those come true. As you guys go wandering around the building today, pay attention. Nothing here made itself. Everything starts as an idea. But then you got to figure out how the hell do you make it real. Okay? So you guys are graded on, math and science and your reading skills and whatever else. But here in this show, I grade you on other things. I grade you on the things that are going to be more important than your math and science grades. The ability to focus is a tremendous skill. Any of you got stuff on these walls or on a pedestal? I know you can focus. The stuff that's in this room and in that hallway is some of the best stuff that's ever come to Hot Shops. And I'm being real honest with you. I wouldn't say that unless I meant it. The quality of the stuff that's on these walls is one of the best shows we've had here in a long time. To do this, you have to bring a positive attitude. The materials you use as artists will record your energy and your spirit. I can't lie to this lump of clay. The painters can't lie to the canvas. And what that means is when you've got that marker, when you've got that brush in your hand, you damn well better have a smile on your face. We can tell when you make those marks if you're happy and confident or if you're pissed off and confused. If you really want to be a good artist, if you want to be good at sports, if you want to be good in business, you want to be a good bus driver, helps to be a good person first. That energy will radiate into everything you do. Okay? Curiosity. Are you curious? Old gray-haired guys like me, I'm so jealous of you guys. My first screen was an Etch-a-Sketch. My first video game was black and white Pong. Had to put a quarter in the machine every time I wanted to play. When we were taking photographs, the huge roll of 36, with a flash cube that flipped 4 times, had to take the film out, bring it to the drugstore. He had it for a week, paid him $25 to get my one set of prints back. You guys got super high def woo woo wah wah in here. All your music's in here. You know, algebra was not my friend in high school. I took summer school twice. You guys reach in your pocket and a couple clicks, oh, there's the answer. Biggest word in your vocabulary, boys and girls, ought to be the word want. What do you want? What's stopping you? You're growing up with all the answers in your pockets. You've got schools and families that will help you, but you got to ask for it. You know, I don't know how to do stuff, but boy, as soon as I get an opportunity, I'll call my friends, I'll get on the internet. You know how to do this? Show me how to do this. Still use the old-fashioned things called books. Tenacity. You know, to finish some of these charcoal drawings, some of the paintings that you've done, real easy to walk away, you know, and you guys are young, you're studying 5 other things, plus you got your friends and, you know, distractions all over the place. So for you to be able to focus and finish these pieces with all that other stuff going on, congratulations. You know, the rest of the population doesn't understand you. You guys are teenagers, right? Hold your breath long enough and you'll get out of it. But the other thing is, you know, tell me a story. I mean, from the time we're little until you're older and grayer than me, if you can tell a story, you'll probably be able to buy lunch. I brought this tile in here. Years ago, we did a project up at Mayo Clinic, and this is kind of a story about how art works, how it's perceived by the general public. Mayo Clinic was building a children's wing, and they wanted to put kids' art all over the place. So we collected over 2,000. Well, actually, we collected 20,000 drawings, and then the doctors and the nurses picked out the best 2,300. And we took those, transferred them onto a clay tile. They're all numbered and mapped, so the kids, the families know where in the hospital their tile is. 6 months later, hospital's open, all the tiles are in. They're in the nurses' stations. You walk down the hall, every 40 feet there's a row of these tiles. And down the hall, we were up installing something else. Down the hall comes a surgeon who had been on the building committee and pulls us aside. He says, guys, he said, when we first had the discussions about putting the kids' art all over the hospital, he said, it almost didn't happen. Doctors thought it was one of the hokiest ideas they'd ever heard. We're Mayo Clinic. We're cutting-edge technology. Don't need this cutesy blankety-blank stuff in our hospital. And he smiled, walks over to the wall, points at one of the tiles. He says, this one's my favorite. He says, we can't walk down these halls right now without feeling the energy from all these drawings. And he says, we've noticed the kids have changed too. They're getting out of bed more than ever. They're wandering the halls. They're looking at all the drawings. They go back to the room and ring the nurse. Bring me crayons and bring me paper. That whole human side, that whole spiritual side of healing that the techno boys had forgotten about and taken it for granted. You are visual beings. Every decision you make has that visual component. Okay? Your voice. What do you have to say? What do you think about things? You know, this thing we call life, it's a relay race. You know, I'm 67 years old right now. I don't have a whole lot of years left to run. So as I pass the torch to you guys, I'm not going to timidly walk up to your generation and say, will you please take this? I'm going to throw it at you and say, run, damn it, run. But you have to learn to be the best you can be. The powers to be that are going to hire you. And I've been in the boardrooms of all the big guys downtown. You know, I presented to Buffett, I presented to the Scotts. The one power they have is they can smell a phony from a mile away. The only way you're good to us, the only way you're good to yourself is to be the best you can be. You know, whatever you're good at, get much more gooder at it. If you're that kid in class that can't shut up, that's cool. I'll put you out in the gallery, talk to these people, don't let them out of here till you sell them something. If you're that kid in class that is really good and got great ideas, but my God, if you have to get up in front of 30 people and make a presentation, then I don't want to do that. How do I get out of here? You know, math nerds, any math nerds in the group? Come on, it's okay. One of my best friends is a math guy, and he's as crazy about, doing spreadsheets and making sure if I sell that bowl for $25, it didn't cost me $26 to make. He keeps me out of jail. Okay, so it really is a team sport. Pay attention to what your friends are good at. You're going to need them someday. So, this guy, we're working on a Vietnam War memorial that'll be out near Warner Park next summer. The artist is a local artist. He dressed 5 soldiers up and had them pose, took the photographs, scanned them into the computer. So the originals were 3D printed. And what's cool about that, 3D printing, we're still just a half a step out of the cave. It keeps getting better. But the bronze casting process is 3,000 years old. So it's a great meld of the oldest techniques with the newest. And then what we do is we make rubber molds, take the rubber mold, paint wax, however thick the wax is, that's how thick the metal will be. Take that wax part, dip it in a ceramic solution, let it dry, build up a shell, melt the wax out, bury that mold in the sand, heat up the metal, pour it in. Anyways, they're working on those in the metal shops, which is up by the glass blower, go through the glass doors. They'll be blowing glass. I'll be here throwing pots. Dan Tober will be up in the pottery. Ask lots of questions. Very interested in your futures. Come back here and buy art from us. Okay, it's called the Circle of Life. But now, wander the building. When you're out of school, we're open every day. We do teach classes in just about anything. What makes you you is your ideas and your creativity. Be the best people you can be. Thank you.